Quidditch is easy enough to understand. Each team has 7 players, 3 chasers, 2 beaters, 1 keeper, and the seeker. That's you.
Big high-tech kind of production that I've ever been involved with really was Harry Potter. And that's before these things. I mean, I was cyber scanned. I was like laser scanned in 3D, and then a close-up really detailed one of my face with different expressions for doing CGI stuff and for potentially making a toy, but then that didn't happen, annoyingly. That would have been fun. But at the time, I was 18, and I was just like, oh, cool stuff. I didn't kind of think about the implications of it. I think if it was to happen now, I'd be very careful about what it said in the contract. But yeah, I mean, all these things just expand possibilities for filmmakers, which is good. But you have to be careful.
Not bad, Potter. You'd make a fair beater.
It used to be that like an American film would come out and then it wouldn't come out in other countries until 6 months later, sometimes even longer. And then when piracy became a big thing, they tried to undermine piracy by just putting it out everywhere all at once. And then with streaming, they'll make a whole series and drop it, and then they realised that you can't do that because then you don't get as much word of mouth as if it was coming out once a week and people are talking, oh, what do you think's going to happen next? So now they're putting out and we'll put out half of the series and then make them wait a month. And it's an interesting time because there's no model. Yeah. The big players don't have this kind of this is how we do things, it will make us this much money. It's a Wild West, yeah.
Felt the same way before my first game.
What happened?
I don't really remember. I took a bludger to the head 2 minutes in.
I can't advise any young people about getting into the industry because I just fell into it as a child. So I just locked out. There's no path that I followed that if you follow it too, you'll be able to make a living as an actor. I just got very, very lucky, very, very young. It's as simple as that. And also, it was always a difficult, uncertain, competitive business. And it's worse than ever. And there's just no model for having a career. There's no reliable, no matter how good you are, there's no reliable way of making a living at it. And so I tend not to advise young people to try and be an actor because I think it's sort of no matter how much you want it, there's a lot of silly chat around about the harder you work, the luckier you get, and if you want it badly enough, it'll happen. It's just nonsense. It's a crapshoot. It's luck and chaos, and we all know that there are brilliant actors who work in a bar, and we all know that we've all seen terrible actors that are making millions. So I mean, if you want it so badly that you're willing to take the risk, knowing that that's what it involves, fine. But be realistic, and I would never advise a young person to be a performing artist. I certainly don't think that. I think if people really do want to try, then the idea of spending years going to university or whatever and getting into debt, working on plan B before you even have a go at plan A, actually is that kind of traditional, mum and dad model of have something to fall back on. It's like, no, if you are going to try it young, probably. But just be aware, know just exactly how unlikely it is that you're going to have any sort of sustainable living and stable life. Sorry.